Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Day 2, and I'm glad to report actually that today has been, well, the gauntlet has been thrown, and for what they're worth, I'm going to talk you guys through exactly what I've done from start to finish. So I've been on the go now for about 14 and a half hours. Thankfully, in the span of just 1 week of being back in proper full-time work, a lot of good habits have started to worm their way into my system. For example, getting up out of bed before 7:15 is not in any way a misery. Actually, it's becoming a bit of a luxury because it's 10 to 10 right now, and what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to go have a shower, and then I'm going to go straight to bed. I'll be out by about 10:30, which gives me roughly just under like eight hours maximum, I'm gonna say, of sleep. Then once that's done, straight to work, crack on, because apparently my actual induction is meant to be tomorrow. An induction, like, I've been on the job now for a week and I'm only now getting the induction. It all sounds a bit strange, especially because this is still only meant to be a temporary 8-week deal. I've busted my arse literally all day, from editing videos to processing to recording, and I've talked before about like doing these things, these calendars. Well, as a means of improving my current situation, all of my calendars are now actually on my hard drive, so it saves a lot of ink. And then, because they've all been filled for the rest of this year, and I'm nearly finished for everything for 2026. Then comes the ever-increasing, arduous, tedious, unenviable task of having to do the day, like break down the daily tasks and schedules into specific hours and dates. So we go from sorting to organizing to implementing to expediting. It's a sister. It is. I am literally following what they call the STAR program. There's situation, there's task, there's action, and then there's result. If I can implement all of these 4 things into my line of work going forward, for example, the situation, I need to know when things are going out. Things need to be organized, color-coded, coordinated, ticked, checked, I's dotted, T's lined, and everything ready. So ironically, my job in broadcasting and all that, it's taken on a little bit of a secondary sort of hue, if you will. It goes from just recording videos and, editing them and uploading them. Now I have to be basically a producer. I have to be an accountant. I have to do the sound design. I have to be the special effects guy. I've got to be the lighting guy. I've got to go through compliance. I have to be the compliance guy, the HR guy, the human resources guy, the editing guy, the directing guy, the fall guy, the guy who wheels in the tea, the guy who wheels in the coffee, the guy who cleans up, the guy who hoovers, the guy who supervises the cleaning, the guy who supervises the coffee making, the guy who supervises the tea making, the guy who dishes out the lunch, his supervisor, his cleaner. Basically, it is a well-oiled machine run by one individual. So it's a good thing that I have all this space in my room now, but to be honest, it's not quite enough, because even having the weekend off, it's been like literally non-stop work. But you know what? I'm completely fine with that, because bloody flies still cling to every surface and stuff like that, and it's still too warm and stuff like that. Anyway, once we're done, by this time next week, this room is going to have to get organized again, because I'm now closing in on 3 weeks to my first ever Great North run, and things have to be. I'm gonna have to start throwing stuff out, and I'm gonna have to start putting things elsewhere, because it's still not quite how I want it. It's still not quite how it should be. Everything should have a place. Everything should be in its place. Everything needs to be sorted. And it's a tall order, to be honest, and I'm not going to lie. It's going to take at least roughly about a day to get this organised, as well as having to do everything on there. And on top of all that, once I'm done with work tomorrow afternoon, I've then got to drive the car to get its MOT and the tax and everything else done. So to say that even that's the great irony about all of this is that I get back into work. I'm going to continue to be in work, and actually, to be honest, what it's done is that it's doubled my workload. Quite literally. Some may argue, can I really call anything of like I do on here work unless I actually get paid for it? You'll be surprised though, guys. That's all I'm going to say about that, because, well, I guess even I can surprise myself. Mind you, I have been wrong about underestimating myself before, and even overestimating myself. So giving myself a little bit of reassurance is actually going to go quite a long way. And, well, there's no other way of putting it. Can you hear that, guys? Both clocks at both ends of my bed endlessly ticking away, because that is the sound of time slipping away. And with all that being said, well, tomorrow it will start again, just as it started today. And how about we start off on the right foot? That seems like the proper thing to do, eh? So with all that being said and done, I'll see you guys again tomorrow night. Thank you.